Hey, amazing parents. How are you all doing today? Awesome, awesome. So my name is Phinnah Chichi Ikeji, and I am a parenting consultant and coach, and also a teens personal development expert. So what are we going to be talking about today? So you know what, guys? I hear this a lot. Parenting teens is difficult. Parenting teens is challenging. But is it really challenging? I'm going to share with you some things that are happening in the teen years that we need to catch up with. So a lot of times we know it's a given that teenagers change in the teen years. That's number one. There's no one doubts that. Teenagers are changing throughout their teen years. But guess what needs to happen? First things first. As parents, we need to change as well. There's some changes that are required, some adjustments that are required in the teen years that will make parenting teens easier. But a lot of times we don't make that adjustments. And it's the lack of those adjustments that causes the chaos, that causes the lots of misunderstanding, lots of conflicts, lots of arguments, lots of resistance in parenting teenagers. So I'm going to give a few examples of what I mean and a few points on where we should actually be open and willing to make adjustments. Before I even say that, there's this quote that I love. I love this quote. I don't even think Alvin Toffler, who wrote this quote, I don't know if he had parenting in mind, but the first time I laid hands on this quote in, wow, I can't even remember when. This was years ago. I just keyed it into parenting. The quote says that the illiterates of the 21st century, it won't be those who cannot read or write. No, it's going to be those who are unwilling to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Oh, the day I saw that quote, the day I read that quote, I thought to myself, that's it. That is it. If we as parents, especially in the teen years and young adult years, if we are not willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn, then we better be ready for the challenges that will come along. And challenges are going to always be there. We're not saying they're not going to be challenges, but how are we going to be able to navigate those challenges? We have adjustments to make. As a parent of a teenager, we're constantly making adjustments, constantly unlearning. They're at this age, 13, what you're saying and what you're dealing with them at 15 is different. We've got to adjust as they grow. Very, very important. So number one is adjustments in our parenting approach. It's got to change. We've got to start, and I will talk about communication because communication is the biggest part of it. You know, they say communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. The parent-teen relationship requires an open communication, communication that lets our teens feel heard, understood, listened to, valued. That's what opens the door for open conversations in our homes with our teenagers. When our teenagers don't feel heard, valued, they shut down. Or they can't really get what it is that we are trying to share with them as parents. So it's very important to start having open communication. And I know that this is not usually easy because a lot of us did not see that as a template when we were growing up. And much of our parenting in today's world is based off the template we saw growing up. Okay, so open communication sometimes may not be something that you were shown, you were exemplified. So it's something that you then need to learn. You see, it's important that we're open to learning in this parenting journey. So the open communication, when they talk to us, how do we respond? Are we constantly criticizing or are we constantly encouraging? Do we listen? That active listening is part of under the whole communication thing, active listening. When they're talking to us, are we interrupting? Are we trying to correct and fix it in the moment? Or are we listening to hear their own perspectives, their own point of view? These are the things that are needed to be adjusted so that we can thrive in parenting teens. So that's one. That's the second one. So apart from the parenting approach, communication is really, really key. The third point that I have here is third, isn't it? Yeah, the third point I have here is actually in boundaries. And as we parent our teenagers, it's so important that we start to allow for gradual independence. as they get older into the teen years, start to allow for gradual independence. And with this gradual independence comes with giving them responsibilities. But if teenagers know that they're receiving the gradual independence, then they're more open to embrace the responsibilities. So be open. Don't get stuck with the rules that you had at 13 is the same rules you have at 15. They should start noticing their age differences. That's a key in parenting teenagers. When you give them that leeway, when you gradually let them have independence, it does a whole lot of good. They get a more understanding, because a lot of times the resistance they have is because they're thinking, is this the same bedtime I'm going to have forever? They just like expand it. Is that what I'm going to have forever? Is it never going to change? So even as you give them, as you guys collaborate and talk about the boundaries, let them know that the future is going to be different. It's good. It's so important that they have that hope that, okay, these boundaries are not permanent. These boundaries are still, we're going to start getting more and more independent as we get older. When a teenager knows that, the teenager is more receptive to the rules and the regulations, or the rules and the boundaries that we all put together. I'm very conscious to say that we all put together. In the teenage years, it's not about commanding, this is how it must be done. Let's collaborate together. Let's do it together. Let's agree together. Let's agree the consequences together. It works out better that way, because you're then nurturing more open communication. And yeah, more collaboration is what really makes a difference and is a game changer in parenting teens. And then the fourth point I've got here is respect their privacy. I know they live in your house. I know it's your house. I like to say it's our home rather than saying it's my house. It's our home. Respect their privacy. If you're going to go to their room, don't just barge into their room and just say, "Oh, I'm here. I pay the bill so I can walk in anytime I want." That's not being respectful. I would encourage us to knock on the door. You okay to talk for a minute? Be respectful, because that's how they learn respectfulness. That's how they learn it, from what we are doing with them, how we are talking with them, how we are respecting them. That's the only way they learn respect. They don't go to school and they teach them, this is how you respect, this. They learn respect from the home. So let's exemplify what being respectful looks like, and our teenagers will reciprocate with being respectful too. So those are the few of the points that I thought I would share with us in parenting teenagers. These adjustments are the adjustments that need to be made for us to thrive through parenting journey, through parenting teens. We don't have to dread the parenting teens journey. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, you're going to just be ready for problems, just be ready for that." Don't ascribe to that belief. It's not true. Don't ascribe to it. People that get tangled up in the challenges and dread the teenage years, they haven't made the adjustments required. Make these adjustments and you will see your life as a parent of teenager better, because you're then able to hear their perspectives. You're then able to have this open communication. You're then able to collaborate with boundaries and rules. And it makes your life and their lives a lot better. And they grow to become amazing human beings, because they've seen the foundation. They've had the foundation of open communication, active listening, collaboration, respectful communication. They've had all that as their foundations. And all they just need from that is to really soar and really succeed in life. So that's what I would say with parenting teenagers. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. And we have loads more and more encouragement for every parent of teenagers. And if your child is still in the tween years, about to be teenagers, this is the perfect channel for you to watch and learn from and get things to unlearn and relearn. And let's do this together. We're in this journey together. And I'm so blessed to be part of this journey with you. God bless you. Take care.